Pathmark is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in the buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmark qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50% by adding Pathmark to your website in seconds, letting the AI do all the work and increase conversions while you keep doing marketing as usual. Check us out on Pathmark.com. All right, everyone, welcome to today's episode of Pathmark Presents. Today, we are joined by Mack Rivkin. He's the founder of Iconic Bloom. Mack, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
Of course, excited to get into things, Mack. We were talking about Iconic Bloom offline just a few seconds ago before getting into the recording of this, and but I wanted to leave what the company is actually about to you, right? So, what's the heart of what your company does, and how would you describe it to someone new?
Yeah, so marketing is extremely important for businesses to grow and has been for a very long time. People need to become aware of whatever products or services you're selling. But we are in a new age. We're in an age where technology is advancing very, very, very rapidly. People are utilizing things like AI and automation in countless ways. And that is happening, but at the core of marketing strategy is the human experience. And while all of these technological innovations are happening, and there's so much excitement built up around that, so much hype, my feeling being a marketer for the last 10 years is that the human experience element of marketing has been deprioritized. And that shows up in a number of ways. The most obvious way that it shows up is just the frequency of ads that we engage with as a consumer every single day. And oftentimes the ads are not extremely high quality or relevant. But it also shows up in the way that brands engage with marketers, like in an internal team setting. Agencies have always had an issue with turnover, just like high client churn, and things are getting even more complicated as ad networks like Google Ads, Meta Ads are relying on AI even more in their algorithms. And a lot of brands just don't even know where to turn anymore. A lot of brands are opting to take their marketing in-house and attempt to train people to you know uh, uh, do their marketing and have kind of ownership over that. But it's kind of a complicated process, and there's a lot of chaos right now, and especially on the e-commerce side, things like tariffs are causing a lot of ups and downs in businesses, and profitability is always in question. And so what I really wanted to try to build at Iconic Bloom is a alternative to the traditional marketing agency, where we can come in and we can help clients grow. But there are two things that kind of set us apart. One, which I've already kind of talked about, is like that human experience element, where there is a lot more focus and intention on what the viewer is actually being exposed to. And there's just a lot of care in terms of how do we really walk someone through the story of the brand. So storytelling is a really big piece of this, as opposed to hijacking their attention. Like there are a lot of marketing methodologies which I would deem less than ethical or unethical. And so we really try to operate in a way that really takes care of our like potential customers or current customers and doesn't, overload or annoy them. And then the other side of things is growth, but not just any growth, it's sustainable growth. So oftentimes in marketing contexts, brands will want to grow at any cost. And they want to seeing, you know, uh, revenue double, in a year, for example. That might be a goal of a particular client. And a lot of marketers will just listen to the client, say, okay, you want to grow revenue and by the 2026, we can double it. I'm on this journey with you. And they're just going to sign on and say, we're going to do this together. And they'll be in this role for a year, and maybe it'll happen and maybe it won't. But that is they're just driving towards that, and not really looking at what else is happening in the business. So in that scenario, other things might be happening, like the customer experience might be getting worse. The flow between teams might be getting worse. Like there might be some additional friction. The quality of the website or creative cohesion between different elements of the brand story might be becoming disjointed. And they might hit that revenue number, they might not. But even if they do hit that number, it doesn't necessarily mean that the brand is in a better place. The brand might be in a worse place. And after that doubling of revenue, that company could be on the decline for the next 3 years because of their aggressive growth. So when we work with any type of brand, we never want them to be in that type of position. We really prioritize sustainability, and that's not just financial sustainability. That's also like emotional sustainability and, dare I say it, spiritual sustainability. I mean, we really get to know the brand owner at a very deep level, and we come on board as a growth partner, as a creative partner, and we listen to their desires and their hopes and their dreams, and we figure out a way to get there, and we establish reasonable timelines, and set reasonable expectations. And the ultimate goal for us is that we work with them for a short amount of time, and then they can let us go, and then they can do their own thing. Like we're not going to set them up to be reliant on us. That's a huge issue in the marketing space, where agencies will create a sort of model where brands become dependent on them, and I believe that is predatory. And so we really do we do want to operate with intention and care every step of the way.
Very good. I love the, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like it's a much more holistic approach to marketing than what most agencies, as you're saying, have. Whether it's not, by using those concepts of, whenever you mention predatory, of, the marketing tactics that agencies use or marketers use, whether it's scarcity or urgency, they're all human kind of, they deeply rooted in us, right, as humans. I think there are ethical ways to use it, whether it reflects, the truth at that point, or whether it's not false scarcity, false urgency, and unethical ways. And most of the times, I think I can see it too as a consumer personally, and also by working with many marketers that don't use it, in that ethical way. So it sounds like you're trying to do something different, Mac, and I really appreciate it. I think it's a breath of fresh air. So I'm also curious, what type of businesses or clients tend to be around that, right? Well, around that concept of being more holistic. That makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I think the brands that kind of come in already having this angle and like really understand are like wellness brands, you know, yoga or fitness or things like that. I think that those brands tend to, be more intentional with their marketing
Mm,
strategy, and their communication with clients. Um, but I do think that my favorite brands to work with personally are are actually brands that are not used to that approach. And I get to come in and it becomes a teaching moment, and we get to reshape the brand together to create something that is um, not only ethical but also efficient. Um, and so, one of the industries that I love doing this with is fashion. And so, I just personally love fashion. I love clothing. It's wearable art. But one of the huge issues with the fashion industry is that it's the second most polluting industry in the world. Um,
mm,
Massive, massive negative environmental impact. And so I really uh, love to engage with brands that take a different approach, that have an understanding of this, and want to be different, uh, want to do better, want to be the change that the world needs. And then we kind of like take it to the next level with, okay, so you're already making these shifts in terms of how you design and manufacture. So like how can we be better in terms of how we communicate with our customers? How can we be more intentional with how we operate as an internal team? How can we be more intentional with how we manage money? So we kind of go over all of these things, and yeah, it's just it's a really lovely thing to be, because fashion is such a huge important part of our culture, and something that should be honored and preserved. And um, it should not be this like destructive force that it has kind of evolved to be. And so I really um, love the opportunity to help create shifts, even in small ways. Um, I also really love working in entertainment.
mm,
Entertainment, kind of similarly, is like one of those things like that is um, it's art. It's cultural. It has cultural significance. It is human expression. But on the other side, a lot of entertainment companies, they're just churning out, mindless, unintentional uh, games and shows and films, and it's just there's a good side to entertainment, and then there's a bad side. There are two sides to anything, right? And so I really
mm,
love engaging with brands that have the desire to be different, have the desire to approach things in a more ethical way. I love engaging with. I'm working with a video game client right now that understands the power of AI, but really does everything that they can to not use it at all in their in their development, and in their marketing. There's a focus on analog and building things by hand, and I think that's like so beautiful. It's like becoming a lost art now,
mm.
and um, and it matters, and it matters, and it matters even more now because there is such a drastic technological shift happening. So we really need to kind of come together as a community to of course utilize AI, these powerful tools. Like this is amazing. Like it is a phenomenal tool, but we need to also work hard to uh, keep flexing that other muscle, which is the human muscle. And we need to gather in physical spaces and like be together. And uh, we need to not let the screens, come between us and become proxies for actually interacting with people. And because if we let that slip away, then we're gonna it's not just marketing that's going to be in a bad spot. It's our entire livelihood. And so as a marketer, because this is what I do every day, I feel like it's my responsibility as a marketer to you know really hone in on that and focus on that while still using AI, while definitely not
Mm.
neglecting that this is like an amazing tools that we can use. And on the AI side, for example, like utilizing AI to just do more in less time, like that is a beautiful thing. And so don't get me wrong. I do believe that everyone in the marketing space especially should have a keen understanding of how to utilize these tools, but also understand that it's a slippery slope, and an over reliance on these tools is a bad thing. Don't outsource your brain.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's a big one, and I was thinking exactly about that as soon as you mentioned it, because I can't remember where I heard this the other day, but the fact that we're relying more and more and more on AI just to even write a simple email. That I'm not talking about like an essay or even there. You should do it and then maybe have AI help you out with like proofreading or whatever. But it's making us dumb. I mean, unfortunately, whether you over rely on something like that it comes at a cost, right? And so that really relates and resonates with what I've been thinking about it, and I think more and more people are thinking about it. They use it, but I hope there's going to be a shift in a sense that we're more mindful about how we use it and how we utilize AI for our everyday tasks. So.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing is inherently good or bad. It really is all about balance.
Mm, okay. Mac, maybe you just touched on it, right? On your day to day, you mentioned your day to day. If we switch gears for a second and talk about you, right? On a typical day, what are the main things you focus on when you work with clients? And what does a day in your role look like?
Well, one of the reasons why I kind of fell in love with marketing and I stuck with marketing is because no 2 days look the same. So I I am the kind of person that loves variety. Variety is the spice of life. If I am doing the same thing day in and day out, I will get bored. So um, honestly, day one, coming into working at a global agency, that's about 10 years ago till now. It's been quite a journey, and I'm proud to say that every day has been quite different. Now, what my days look like are like I'm at a stage now where I've soft launched Iconic Bloom. We're still working on website. We're still working on social media presence. There's a lot happening. So right now I am spending, I'd say, like 20 to 30% of my time on like developing my own brands, things like logo and getting my project management systems in order, and figuring out how I want to build my website and who I want to engage with to support me in those tasks. So that's a portion of my day right now, which is a really exciting time. Like this is like one of the more fun aspects of starting your own business. And then I spend most of my time right now actually working with clients. So I take quite a few meetings each week to kind of talk to talk to each of my clients about what their goals are, any updates, track progress. I provide my performance updates to, and it varies depending on the client. Like some clients I work with are like I'm working with one fashion brand that's like specifically econ. I'm working with the video game brand that I was talking about. Like we just finished up a very successful Kickstarter. I'm working with um, uh, a yoga brand that is actually developing a television show for children, which is like
Mhm.
amazing, like and so all these are so entirely different, and so the conversations I'm having with each of these founders and the tactics that I'm utilizing to help their brands grow are so entirely different as well. Um,
Mhm.
and so yeah, honestly, the short answer is it depends.
Right. Yeah, it's wear many hats, right? Already as a marketer, that's what you have to do,
Yeah.
but even more so as a business owner. And when you do both, yeah, it gets pretty wild, right? But um, Mac, I want to thank you for being on the show with us today. And as we wrap things up, I also want to give you the last word. So if someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is the one thing that you remember about Iconic Bloom and the work you are doing?
Well, since this is the last word, yes, Iconic Bloom. I'm super proud of it, and I'm super proud of what it represents. But the main thing that I really want to leave listeners with is um, just check in with yourself. Check in with yourself, and think about what's happening in the world, and think about what you are doing in your day to day to make a positive change in the world, especially when we're talking about these huge technological advancements. We're seeing a lot of things happen economically, politically in the world that are leaving a lot of people hurting right now. And the smallest thing can make a huge difference in the life, in your own life, in the life of your community. And so just regular check-ins with yourself, um, close your eyes, take a breath, and see what comes up naturally for you. Um, and if you are a brand owner, of course, and you are desiring to do something a little bit differently, you can reach out to me at Mac at iconicbloom.io. Like I said, our website and our social media page is still in the works because we're so new. But I would love to have conversations with you about how we can help make your brand grow in a way that is not just ethical, not just sustainable, but also authentic to you.
Awesome, Mac. Thank you so much again. We'll leave your email in the show notes so people can reach out and hopefully, make more of a mindful choice when it comes to building a brand and a business that grows and it works. In the meantime, I wish you a wonderful day and thank you again for being with us today.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, bye everyone.